President Donald Trump has made no secret of the fact that he thinks that the economy and the stock market would be in big trouble without him.
I'll tell you what, if I ever got impeached, I think the market would crash. I think everybody would be very poor.
It's an argument that keeps coming up and will probably come up more. Whatever you think of his policies, whatever you think of all the scandals and the tweets and everything else that's gone on in his administration, the economy is doing great. And the question is, how much credit does he deserve for all that? On the headline numbers, the economy has been strong, no doubt about it. Trump has overseen 6 consecutive quarters of economic growth that's not only been positive, but also been above trend. We've also seen big gains in corporate earnings, and the stock market, which is now the longest bull market on record, has continued while he's been president. Look at confidence levels. Consumer confidence is at its highest level since 2004. The National Federation of Independent Business Index, which measures sentiment for small business owners, is at its second highest level ever, and that went up as soon as Trump got into office. Some of the other metrics, a little bit of a mixed bag. Hiring has slowed somewhat, but that would be expected with the economy where it is right now. In June, there were actually more job openings than there were people who were classified as unemployed. That is a first for the U.S. economy. Food stamp recipients had been on the decline under President Barack Obama's administration. That decline has increased somewhat. Now 8% fewer food stamp recipients in Trump's first 16 months. It's not earth-shattering, but it does represent progress in getting some of those Americans who have been left behind back up to speed as far as the economic recovery goes. So the big question, how much of this is due to Trump's policies and how much credit should he get? General consensus? Enough to matter.
We are giving them a big, beautiful Christmas present in the form of a tremendous tax cut.
On the tax cuts, many believe that this long-awaited fiscal stimulus is exactly what the economy needs. The price tag for these tax cuts is about $1.5 trillion over the next 10 years, and is providing a stimulus that policymakers at the Federal Reserve and elsewhere have really been looking for after a decade of an economy that was basically just running on monetary policy. Now, the slashing of regulations is where Trump has been really effective.
We're going to put the regulation industry out of work and out of business.
Multiple measures show that regulations have come down dramatically since Trump took office, and we all remember his executive order.
We have to knock out 2 regulations for every new regulation.
So how do you measure the impact? Well, business investment is a great place to look across a variety of areas like software, intellectual property, research and development. It's brought those levels back up to around 2012 levels, which of course is not great, but it's turning things in the right direction. Even skeptics admit that the Trump administration has made progress. Mark Zandi, the chief economist at Moody's Analytics, had famously said during the 2016 campaign that if Trump's policies were implemented as proposed, it would cause a lengthy recession. Now he says Trump's policies have added 0.7 percentage points to his GDP projections, not an inconsiderable amount when you're talking about a $20 trillion economy. Now, of course, not everything is strong. One of the most nettlesome parts about the economy has been wage growth. In fact, when taking account for inflation, worker paychecks have barely budged as Trump has gotten into office. And that inflation number is something to keep in mind. As the economy picks up, inflation could kick in, and that in turn could trigger the Federal Reserve to continue to raise rates, in fact, at an even faster pace than the market and the economy anticipates, and that could slow growth down considerably. Of course, with more fiscal stimulus, we're also seeing more debt. In fact, the Congressional Budget Office projects the deficit to hit $1 trillion in 2020. For quite a long time, the markets and the economy have been willing to dismiss it. And there's an old adage on Wall Street, it doesn't matter until it matters. And that's what Trump's going to have to wrestle with as the debt and deficit continue to grow. But for now, Trump is sitting pretty on a solid economy, and he likes to take credit for it. The question is, how long can that keep going?